We have a special treat for you in this morning's dish. A chef who is one of just 10 American women to lay claim to a coveted Michelin star, Missy Robbins. A native of New Haven, Connecticut, she got her culinary start in Washington, D.C., and later spent extensive time in Italy, learning that country's exquisite cooking styles before returning to the U.S.
Her new Brooklyn restaurant, Lilia, is already drawing critical acclaim, earning 3 stars from the New York Times. More importantly, it's achieving her primary goal, making people happy. So we are very happy to welcome Chef Missy Robbins to the dish. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So what have we got on the table here?
Oh, we have lots of stuff. Starting over there, we have vegetables, fresh vegetables, roasted vegetables with an anchovy dip. We have roasted clams. We have rigatoni with a diavolo sauce. We have roasted artichokes. And then my favorite is the malfadini with pink peppercorns. Wow. A little fresh mozzarella, and finally olive oil cake.
What's the drink also? That's usually the most important thing on the table to us.
The drink is a really refreshing spritz called a Bianco Bianco with vermouth and soda and a little white wine. It's awesome. You can drink them all day long.
I'm sampling quickly.
You should sample.
Well, it sounds like you grew up in a foodie family.
I did.
So I was surprised to see that you then had art history and psychology when you decided to go to Georgetown.
You know, I had this awesome family, and I didn't know that I wanted to go into the restaurant business, and my parents brought me to cool restaurants in New York all the time, and we traveled a lot in France and England, and I was really fortunate, but sort of college was always expected. Right. And I didn't know at the time that I wanted to become a chef, and at the time it didn't have the same cachet as it does today.
Right.
And I just ended up deciding to do it my last semester senior year.
You got a job at a restaurant called, we went to the same school.
I love that.
And so I know where you worked because it was the fancy restaurant.
You also know where I drank.
Yeah.
Hello.
I
Yes,
have a feeling he did as well, but go on.
You worked at 1789, which was the fancy restaurant above the bar where we all used to hang out.
Exactly. And I got secret access from 1789 to the Tombs through the back door and never had to wait in line again.
Nice.
That was a double-edged sword. Yeah, they took me in. I had no skill, no knowledge, no anything, and I told them I really wanted to learn. And they said, all right, show up on Friday night, which I thought was very strange as a college student, and then stayed there for a year, and the rest is sort of history.
How did you pick Italian food, though? Because I was looking at your background, and it seems like nobody in the family is Italian.
No, no one in the family is Italian. New Haven, Connecticut is a very American-Italian kind of culture, and I grew up eating a lot of that food. And when I started cooking, olive oils and mozzarellas and ricotta cheese and sort of all those ingredients really resonated with me. And when it came time to go abroad and really study, I just had this inkling that Italy was the place for me, and I did it, and I went for 6 months, and I traveled around the whole country, and northern mostly, and worked in all these crazy kitchens, and then sort of came home and still didn't think I'd become an Italian chef, and then I ended up in Chicago at Spiaggia, and that was 13, 14 years ago, and kind of never looked back after that.
You ended up getting 2 Michelin stars when you worked at a Voce. That must have been, how did that feel?
Scary.
Really?
It felt great, but there was always this, it was 2 different restaurants with 2 different teams. So there was always this fear, what happens if one restaurant gets it and the other doesn't?
Right.
But luckily, we maintained both restaurants the whole time I was there, and it's a privilege. It's an honor and a privilege, and I grew up going to these Michelin star restaurants with my family, and so I understood what it was because I had traveled, and it's cool. It just kind of puts you in a category. It doesn't change what you do every day.
Yeah. Nice to have, though.
It is nice to have. It is nice to have.
What about the break after? Because I think when people see, you're doing so well, you're winning these big accolades, and then it seems like you consciously decided, I want a little break.
I did. The little break turned into a much bigger break than it was supposed to. It was the best thing I've ever done for myself. I think it's made me a better business owner, a better chef. It's calmed me down. It made me really healthy. I kind of changed my lifestyle a lot, and you can't do that when you're in it and when you're doing it every day. And so it's made me be able to just kind of take a step back and do things a little differently this time and take care of myself and make sure I take care of my team. And I don't know, it was a very frightening thing to do and kind of leave a job without a plan, which is very much the truth. I did not have a plan. But I really embraced that time, and I'm happy I did it.
As I get your signature on this dish, I want
Great.
to ask you if you could have this meal with any person, past or present, who would that person be?
Such a tough question, but I always say I want to eat with Madonna.
That's the first vote for Madonna.
I didn't think
That's
you
great.
would. I've cooked for her before.
I feel like she may not eat that much pasta, but I'm sure she would be.
She eats. She does.
She's
I
an
cooked for
eater.
her.
Okay.
Yes.
She eats.
All right, Chef Missy Robbins, thank you
We learned
so
something
much.
about Madonna this morning in the chef segment. I didn't in the dish. Who would know?
For more on Missy Robbins and the dish, please head to our website at cbsthismorning.com.